Here is one of the most famous pictures of the Vietnam War. This is a horrible, horrible picture of the aftermath of a chemical attack. Agent Orange was used against the fine people of this village. They had nothing to do with the war, but they still got attacked during the war by American soldiers. So, like I said, when you saw the cartoon, there was a ton of bombing in the Vietnam War, just day after day bombing with not much of a positive result from it. Not much positive things happened after the bombing. So the South Vietnamese, which was the American side, if you remember, the used carpet bombing was when a plane kind of drives past an area and while dropping bombs all throughout the line of area. It was the American military liked using carpet bombing as an attack because it was very deadly, very oppressive, but not very accurate. So they just got a large line of area entrapped in the bombing. And the Operation Rolling Thunder was a massive bombing campaign which took over 100 American fighter bombers to attack North Vietnam. It took place throughout 8 weeks. It was constant bombing. And then here are some pictures of the chemical warfare. This is Operation Ranch Hand, and that's Agent Orange being used. Agent Orange was a fertilizer. No, an herbicide, my bad. Excuse me. Herbicide used in the Vietnam War by the American military. It was just chemical warfare. It would eat up the skin. The first 3 layers of the skin would just be eaten up by Agent Orange, and it had lasting effects even to the people, even to if there was a mother in Vietnam who got attacked by the Agent Orange, you would see the after effects in their children today. So like I mentioned before, Operation Ranch Hand was where they would just spray fertilizer and herbicide throughout the forest where the North Vietnamese troops and guerrilla troops would be hiding, and it would just destroy all the forest and kill many of the North Vietnamese troops. Napalm was used. It was a flammable chemical compound that would stick to skin and cause severe burns, and the Agent Orange was just an herbicide that had a toxin inside of it that would also eat up skins. The North Vietnamese had much less militarized attacks, much less chemical. They didn't use any chemical attacks. There was no chemical warfare. What they mainly used were just guns and booby traps. They would have traps laid out all throughout the forest, and they would just use they would make their own bombs as well. So that's their main way that they killed most of the American troops and the South Vietnamese troops. The Gulf of Tonkin incident was one of the reasons why, as I mentioned before, one of the reasons why the President of the United States at the time thought they should go into Vietnam on the South Vietnamese side. The communist North Vietnamese attacked the USS Maddox in the Gulf of Tonkin and sunk it. And then the president took that as a sign of aggression and would use that as one of the reasons to go into South Vietnam and help South Vietnam against the North Vietnamese. So the Gulf of Tonkin happened on August 2nd, 1964. North Vietnamese commandos raided 2 South Vietnamese military bases just off the coast, and then there was a USS Maddox base there, and they attacked it, and the American government took it all out of proportion and went into the Vietnam War. So the Ho Chi Minh Trail was a secret trail that the guerrilla forces of the North Vietnamese, the Viet Cong, would use to attack all of the South Vietnamese troops and the American troops. So the North Vietnamese used the Ho Chi Minh Trail, which went from their capital, Hanoi, over here, all the way through Laos and Thailand, and also would spread out to the South Vietnamese over here. And they used that for their most famous attack, called the Tet Offensive. The Tet Offensive was an attack that they attacked so many cities. They attacked 36 provincial sectors and 5 major cities all across South Vietnam. It was launched on January 30th. The reason why it's called the Tet Offensive is because Tet is the Vietnamese New Year. And that's when they did the attack. Similar to George Washington crossing the Delaware. Same principle applies here. And the end of the Vietnam War was signaled in the fall of Saigon on April 30th, 1975. The Viet Cong would march into Saigon, the capital of South Vietnam at that time, and they would destroy all the military bands and kill the leader of the South Vietnamese, and that was really just the end of the Vietnam War. So in 1973, there was a ceasefire in the Paris Peace Accords. That's when the U.S. began to demilitarize South Vietnam. And on April 30th, 1975, the North Vietnamese troops stormed into the capital of South Vietnam, Saigon, at that point. And that was the loss for America and South Vietnam. Communism won, North Vietnam won, Ho Chi Minh Saigon was renamed as Ho Chi Minh City afterwards, and then Vietnam became reunited as the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. So to this day, to this day, the Vietnam War is the only war that America has lost. So I hope you guys paid attention throughout that presentation. I have a little quiz for you guys to enjoy yourself with. Okay. Just take out your phones and put that pin in. Sure. Yeah. I'll allow it. If you guys took good enough notes, use it. Kahoot's based on speed too, so be the fastest one to know the right answer. Okay, Catherine's in. Emily's in. Victoria's in. Perfect. Alright. Won the war. Perfect, nice. Emily's doing very well. That's good. I didn't mention that, but that was in one of my sides, so if you took good notes, that should have been on the notes. Good job, Emily, still in the lead. Victoria's trying to catch up. Catherine, letting me down. Great job, the two people who got Henry Kissinger. The one person who didn't. Come on. I made that very clear. Very nicely done. Victoria got the lead now.
Yes.
Instructed what it was. Thank you to people who got it right. Victoria, nicely done. Emily is back in all the way in the back.
What did I run?
Catherine, good catch up. This is the last question. When was the fall of Saigon? When was the war officially over? Great. Good job, guys. Okay. Victoria, you won. 6 out of 8. Very well done. Catherine, good job. 50%. Emily, better study for the test.